people have to have hope. And I think that's why the program is successful because with our students, I sit down with each student, no matter how much time I have, I'll sit down with each student every 2 weeks with a one-on-one just to talk to the student to make sure where they're at and to make sure they still have hope and they know that their life is going to change. Because I was that student at one time and I didn't have hope at times. And my chef friend would just pick me up and say, you're going to do okay, and just give me that encouragement. And that's what we give there to the students and to the staff that work there, to the customers that come in, just encouragement and just to say, things are going to be okay.
Greetings. I'm Michael Murr, the Executive Director with CSED, the Center for Social Enterprise Development. We're a connector and capacity builder that champions social enterprise as a way to create stronger, more caring, and more sustainable communities. Social enterprises, in case you've not come across that term, are businesses and business activities that are being done for a community and social purpose. The goal of the podcast series is to explore how organizations are developing, launching, and growing successful social enterprises. And it's our hope that through these conversations, aspiring social entrepreneurs and existing social enterprise leaders will be able to gain advice, inspiration, and knowledge that they can then take back into their own operation. I'd like to thank the City of Ottawa for its financial support of our podcast series. Hi there. Today's podcast explores how Ottawa's oldest and largest men's shelter is using social enterprise to support and enhance its services. We're delighted to have with us Rick Allen Watson, the Executive Chef and Director of Food Services at the Ottawa Mission. Rick, it's lovely to have you with us this morning.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Rick, can we start? I think so many people in the city know you as Chef Rick, but for those that don't, can you just tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to this point at the mission?
Sure. I can tell you about my background, which helps to get us to why I started the social enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
So I was born in Kingston. I grew up in a household that wasn't the best. My mother suffered from mental illness. She was paranoid schizophrenic. At the age of 7, I was responsible for going to the grocery store and getting what groceries we could afford. At the age of 14, I was asked to move out of my mother's house. I had no street sense at all. I had no idea where to go. I stayed with some friends for a while, but as all parents do, they get tired of you. And so eventually I ended up right on the street. I would sleep in parks, in apartment buildings, in hallways. It was a horrible life. And to be honest, I was scared. I was young and I was frightened. I turned to drugs and alcohol. And that was really no life because it was like drink, get high, and then go out and try to find money to do it again. Eventually, because there was that piece of me that wanted a good life. So eventually I got a job as a dishwasher at Queen's University, Banry Hall. And during my time washing dishes, one of the chefs came up to me and said, you can do better than what you're doing. And so he convinced me to stop drinking, stop doing drugs, and go back to school. So I went back to school in the culinary field. I ended up getting my hotel restaurant management and my Red Seal chef. Um, the thing about the kitchen was probably the only home I really had. It was such a welcoming place. It always made me feel good. People would say, in the morning when they saw you, good morning. At the end of the day, have a good day. So it really felt like a family to me. So after I received my Red Seal Chef's certificate, I ended up getting a job at the University of Victoria. And there I was the head chef of the Commons Block. It was a great job. It paid well, but something was missing, and I wasn't sure what that was. So I decided to leave the West and come back to Ontario, and I ended up in Ottawa. And one of my friends in Ottawa said, why don't you go down to the Ottawa Mission and serve a meal, volunteer? So I went down to the Ottawa Mission, and during my time serving lunch, passing the guys their meals, I could see myself. I could see guys would walk by, hey, Cookie, I can wash dishes for you. I can help you in the kitchen. I know how to cook. And so I could see myself, people that just wanted to change their lives and just for the better. And so I started at the Ottawa Mission working as a paid employee in 2002. And in 2004, I started the Food Services Training Program. The training program is a program to get people off social services back into the workforce. We bring people into the kitchen for 4 months, teach them all the skills they need to be able to work in a commercial kitchen. And we it's a real wraparound program. We make sure that the guys or women that take the program have everything they need to be successful. We make sure they have, like, if they need clothes, if they have a drug addiction, we get them help. If they need food, if they need a place to live, we help them find shelter. And so after the 4 months, the students graduate. And at the graduation, and we've held this success rate since the beginning in 2004, we have a 90% success rate,
Mhm.
which means that 90% of the people graduating already have full-time jobs.
Mhm.
So in 2006, I was thinking that to find these guys jobs, they need to have some catering skills. So in 2006, I went to the executive director of the Ottawa Mission at that time, and I said, we want to start a catering program. And she said, no, you can't start a catering program. No one's going to buy catering from a homeless shelter. So I'm a very persistent person. If I believe in something, I just go with it. So we went with the catering program, and to date, last fiscal year, we made $5 million in catering in 1 year.
Incredible.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Incredible. And you're charging ahead then with this catering program, and now you're in competition with a whole range of other caterers and restaurants. And so how what how do you bring all of the right ingredients, and pardon the pun, uh, to to this new initiative so that you can stand out and that you can be successful?
Well, with the catering program, we knew that this was going to be a great social enterprise. It was what we were giving. We had top quality food. We had a Red Seal chef, plus we hired another Red Seal chef, and what we were giving the public was not only were they purchasing catering, they were also helping people's lives, helping people that really wanted to get off the streets, get back into the workforce. If they bought their catering from us, they would be part of that, part of the solution,
Mhm.
and that was the key. And it really really works.
Mhm. Can you expand on that a little bit? We talk about leading with social impact, and yet that takes you to a certain point, right? You have to have behind that. You have to have business fundamentals. You have to have tasty food. So can you expand on that? How do you balance kind of the social impact objectives with the just simply needing to run a really great business?
Yeah, well, we knew that the idea of providing catering with people that were wanting to change their lives, that social impact, people would really want to work with that. But we knew that we needed to have the right people. Working the program. So we made sure that we hired um, Red Seal chefs to be trainers. We also had the right staff on board, but we ran out of room at the Ottawa Mission because the catering was taking off like crazy, and we ran out of space. Not only serving a homeless shelter at that point, I think it was about 1,000 meals a day. To date, now we're serving homeless people about 3,200 meals a day, so we didn't have room in that kitchen to provide catering. So we happened to have a donor that really liked what we were doing, and he offered us a building, and we took over the old Rito Bakery, and yeah, it's been great there.
Okay, and so let's talk a little bit about the old Rito Bakery, and I do remember the apple fritters at the bakery quite well.
Yes.
But and so the need you're saying was really predicated by the fact that you were running out of space. It was the catering business was flourishing, and so did how easy was it to find that space?
It was terribly hard. We went all over the city, and we didn't have a lot of money that we wanted to spend on this. So we just didn't have that sort of money. So we thought we would end up a warehouse out in maybe the West End or the East End. Um, and I knew that that wasn't going to work because our people that we serve are people that are downtown. So we had to expand on the idea a little bit further. So we decided that it would be great to also to have a spot downtown, which we found, and but it had to have a storefront as well. We wanted to produce food um, that people could afford. So like people that wouldn't be a good fit to go to the mission to eat, but people that maybe working poor, a good breakfast. At that time, it was 4.99 for a good breakfast, and a good lunch. And at that time, it was 5.99. It's went up a little bit since then. So people in that neighborhood could afford to come there and just buy a good meal.
Hmm. What does it for someone that has not yet been to Chef Rick's? What does it feel like and look like when you come in the door?
It's a great place. It's well decorated. We had a decorator that donated her time to put together the whole piece, and it's beautiful. When you come in, it's very welcoming because 80% of our staff that work there were in the same situation that I was in. So they were at risk of being homeless. Came to the program, got through the program, graduated, and now they work for Chef Rick's. So they're very welcoming, and the Chef Rick's is open to anyone. um, right
Mhm.
now, we're selling our breakfast for 5.99. It's a full breakfast, and we're selling a really great lunch dinner for 7.99. Great
Okay.
price.
Wow, you can't beat those prices.
No, for sure you cannot.
Is Chef Rick's open 7 days a week? Is it what are the hours?
Yeah, so we open at 7:30 in the morning and we close at 6 in the evening. So we run breakfast right till 11, and then starting at 11 until 6, lunch dinner.
Okay. Okay. And the importance, maybe just expand on the importance of having that storefront operation.
Yeah, so the storefront, it helps a lot of people that, like I said, that can't afford
Hmm.
to go to a regular restaurant. But not only that, it helps the students when they're training, our food service training program students. It gives them the retail piece that they can put on their resumes. So it opens up the different jobs that the students can apply for and can get, and it's really helped a lot. So every student has to spend part of their training in the storefront working.
Okay. Some social enterprises that have a training model sometimes will be challenged by the fact that at a certain point, all of their trainees graduate, and now they welcome the next group in. So, is that something? Is that a challenge that you have to deal with in the Chef Rick's operation?
Yeah, when we first started the program back in 2004, we had one cohort per year with 5 students. Then it went up to 2 cohorts per year with 10 students. Currently, we're doing 3 cohorts per year with 30 to 40 students in each cohort.
Mhm.
And then we're advertising for one now, and I think we've had over 250 applicants, and that's been the trend for the last couple of years. So
Okay.
there's no issue finding people that want to take the course. We just
Mhm.
need to have a bigger course.
Hmm. And so from the people that are taking the training program, you will hire, you'll select people that will then work at Chef Rick's and support the catering operation.
That's correct.
Okay.
If we need employees at that time, sometimes we don't need employees because we have a full house,
Okay.
but we make sure we find jobs for all of the trainees.
Okay. And you mentioned that the trainees represent about 80% of the staff. So the other 20% are who?
Just regular people that have applied for a position at
Okay.
Chef Rick's.
Okay. Very good.
Hmm.
Very good. Um, is and so that has been in operation since 2021.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Hmm.
And so how do you feel as knowing that, and here we are 4 years later,
Hmm.
how do you feel as you walk into the space? What's going through your mind?
It's been so successful, and to see like when people come there, even to eat or for an interview or for the program, they see everyone is happy. Like it's a very, very happy place because people have just changed their lives totally. And 4 years later, here we are. We've opened our second Chef Rick's, which is at the YMCA, and it's the same situation there. And the so far we opened it in September, so far it's been totally successful, 1000%
Mm,
success.
fantastic.
Hmm.
It's must be such a wonderful feeling for you.
Hmm. Absolutely, it's great.
When I was preparing for our conversation, one of the things that really stood out for me was, this word called hope,
Hmm.
and certainly it's central to the Ottawa mission. Tell me about hope and really what that represents.
Yeah, so people have to have hope, and I think that's why the program is successful because um, with our students, I sit down with each student, no matter how much time I have. I'll sit down with each student every 2 weeks with a one-on-one, just to talk to the student, to make sure where they're at, and to make sure they still have hope and they know that their life is going to change. Because I was that student at one time, and I didn't have hope at times. And my chef friend would. Would just pick me up and say, "You're going to do okay," and just give me that encouragement. And that's what we give there to the students and to the staff that work there, to the customers that come in, just encouragement and just to say, things are going to be okay.
Hmm. Hmm. Is there and so as someone is going through the food service program and which may include employment in the social enterprise at Chef Rick's or catering, so it sounds like you really have a hands-on kind of support model for the trainees.
Absolutely. It's a
Okay.
total hands-on support model. And we have, I think it's 27 programs now at the Ottawa Mission. So no matter what that trainee is going through, whether it be mental health issues, addiction issues, we have support for them and we make sure that we get them to the support they need. And I've seen where students have had to leave the program, get some help that they need, and then they come back and then they've been successful.
Okay. Okay. And so all of that then is that 90% plus graduation rate in
That's
terms of
That's right. It's
okay.
amazing to be at a graduation. Our last graduation was 100%. We had 30 students graduate, and 100% of them were employed. So the room was just full of laughter and tears
Mhm.
and happiness. It was amazing.
Mhm. A lot of people that will be listening to this conversation are aspiring social entrepreneurs. They could be organizational leaders that are running a social enterprise. Are you, when you look at someone who's applying for the program and you're getting a sense, are they going to be a good fit? Are there certain things that you're looking for when you sit down and talk with a prospective trainee?
Yes, for sure. It has to be, they have to have a desire to want to change their life. They have to have, they have to prove to us that they really want to change their life. They want a better life. And once they've done that, I know they're going to be successful for sure.
Hmm. Hmm. And is there, um, and as you said, I guess there are times when someone may decide mid program that they need to do something else,
Hmm.
and you can accommodate that.
Absolutely. And sometimes mid-program, students need to work. So we'll help them find a job that will work with them taking the program at the same time. So we're very flexible. We look at each case individually and make sure that we can do whatever is possible to make them successful.
Hmm. Thinking about Chef Rick's and the opening of the first original location,
Mhm.
can you can you talk to us about partnerships and what were those ingredients again that came together to make your vision possible?
Well, if it wasn't for partnerships, even the partnership we have with the CSED, if we didn't have that partnership, I remember sitting in a I don't know if I want to call it a course or it was a meeting that we had there, and thinking, this is just too much. It's going to be too much work, but there was so much encouragement from that organization. They were amazing. We wouldn't be where we are now if it wasn't for that organization. They helped us put a proposal together to go in front of the board. They actually came to the board meeting with me because at that time I would probably stumble on my words, and they helped me do the proposal, and it passed, and it was amazing. So they were amazing. But there's also many other partnerships. You need
Mhm.
to work with everyone in the community, and I found for myself and for Chef Ricks and for the Ottawa Mission to be involved in as many organizations as you can. I sit on the Ottawa Food Bank Board of Directors. I've sat on Just Foods Board of Directors. You really got to give back to the community.
Hmm. So it is really that two-way street, right? The community helping you and you helping
Absolutely,
the
one
community.
100%,
Hmm.
because we all want the same goals at the end.
Hmm. And when we think about opportunities that come along, how do you know how do you know when something is a good opportunity and you should go for it, versus maybe something that might look attractive initially, but you might say, maybe not. What goes through you? How do you assess that?
I always have to remember why I do what I do. So I have to look back and from the beginning and why are we here and what are my goals and what were my dreams and is this going to align with that? And if it does, then I know it and it always works out that
Hmm.
it is.
Hmm. Is there certain things that you would say to other social enterprise leaders? These things are really important, right? These have been, something for you that has been that guardrail that you would say these things are important.
Yeah, absolutely. You must believe in what you believe in. Follow your heart for sure. Um, take as much advice as you can, look through that and just go with what advice you think is good. But you really need to follow your dreams. And if the social enterprise is what you really want and you believe it's going to work, it'll work.
Hmm. Hmm. Good advice. Good advice. The I want to go back to catering.
Mhm.
And you mentioned that multi-million dollars in sales, and so what has allowed you to get to that point in terms of that kind of business is phenomenal.
I think setting a good example for your team, and I've got the best team ever. Like they are amazing. Even like my chef, he was 20 years ago. He went through the program, and he's the head chef. And just giving, doing the best that you can. Our food is top notch, but our attitude is way higher than that. Our attitude, how we treat people, total respect, and we believe in what we have. We believe in Chef Rick's.
Hmm. Hmm. Is there something that's coming next? What comes next for Chef Rick?
We're never going to stop growing.
Okay.
We're going to keep going forward. And I'm looking at other locations. Just I don't want to go too fast because I think that we have to settle into the Y for a little bit. But always looking how we can expand because with that many applications, that many people waiting to get into the program, and we don't have the space. So always looking at just moving forward. Never. Okay, now we're here. It's never going to be that way. It's always go forward.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. For people that are interested in the program, do they pay for it themselves? Is there government support, or does it really just depend?
No, there's no cost for the student.
Okay.
It's 100% paid for by the Ottawa Mission, but by our donors. Our donors are amazing. They believe in the program.
Yeah.
They believe in the growth. They believe in me, and
Hmm.
it's and we have the resources that we can make this happen without the students having to pay because they wouldn't be able to afford it.
Hmm. Hmm. And students are, I think, certainly initially focus on people that were homeless,
Mhm.
but it's much more than that, isn't it?
Yes. So at the beginning, the program was built for people homeless or at risk of being homeless. It's changed over the years. We still have that demographic, but we also have a lot of newcomers to Canada that need our help. And these guys are amazing. They want a new life. They come from a country that maybe didn't treat them so well or they didn't have the best of life there and they work so hard to get ahead and just like people in the community that are homeless or at risk of being homeless. They just want a new life. They want a fresh start.
Hmm. More fairly even split, male female, or is there typically
Typically, it's usually a few more females than
okay?
males, but both are welcome there for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you would want to say that maybe we haven't covered?
No, just I think the biggest thing is, work with other organizations, believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, believe in the social enterprise, and just make it move forward. And work with the CSED. They're amazing. They like I said, we would not be where we're at now if they hadn't have planted the seeds at the beginning.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here, Rick. Wonderful
Thank you.
conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is Michael Murr with CSED. I'd like to thank the City of Ottawa for its financial support of our podcast series.